I waited for nearly a year to release a review for Pillars of Eternity 2. After 3 playthroughs, here is my review for Deadfire in its current state, version 4.00 Plus for 2019. I'll also cover all 3 DLCs in this review. The first section is the story. My advice: play Pillars 1. It affects the story in Pillars 2. Whatever choices you make will eventually lead you to the same multiple endings, 6 in total. In short, you chase a god that crashed your castle from Pillars 1 while being blackmailed by another god. This game has plenty of gods, by the way, and 90% of them are pure assholes. DLCs have nice stories too, especially Beast of Winter. I like stories of side quests and factions more than the main story or companion stories. Beast of Winter is lore-based DLC. Second DLC is one huge arena, or better to say non-stop combat. And last DLC is my favorite one, a dungeon crawler. Overall, I say story in Pillars 2 gets 7 out of 10. After the next section, game bugs and optimization. There were tons of bugs and glitches on the release, but not anymore. After God knows how many patches, Obsidian fixed mostly everything there is. Optimization though is still a disaster, because this game runs in Unity engine, so expect a lot of memory leaks that will force you to restart the game on every 2 hours. You will have frames from 10 to 60, Unity engine hates fire, and a lot of details, especially the main city in Deadfire, Neketaka. 5 out of 10 for game bugs and optimization. It pains me to admit, but after 400 hours in the game, I really hate stuttering and frame drops for no reason at all, or better to say, because of Unity engine. Next section is game time. Well, it depends how you play. Skip conversations, stick to the main story on easier difficulties. It will last around 30 hours. Stick with the hardest difficulty, Path of the Damned, level scaling up, do everything there is with all companion quests and side quests, plus win every battle and finish all 3 DLCs. This is easily 100 hour plus game. Great replay value. Replay value is really huge. 10 out of 10 for this section. Next one is game difficulty. Superb. Casuals can play on easiest difficulties, normal is balanced, hardest difficulty, Path of the Damned with level scaling up is perfectly balanced, and I had a lot of fun with it. Was way too easy and unbalanced when the game was out, but now, after multiple patches and 3 DLCs with 4.0 version of the game, all works like a charm. 10 out of 10 for this section. Next section is maps and graphics. Unity engine, nice art style, solid graphics, nothing breathtaking though. One main map of Deadfire, one huge city, Neketaka, and tons of mini islands, towns, caves, dungeons, crypts, open sea battles, snowy areas, and so on. Everything is covered, every bloody color there is. Great map for the Forgotten Sanctum DLC, the third and final DLC. I really love Forgotten Sanctum. 8 out of 10 for maps and graphics. We go with gameplay as the next section. The most important section there is. What can I say? Everything you expect from a CRPG is here. Bosses, tons of bosses, a lot of gear, a lot of conversations, choices and consequences, adventuring, fighting, talking your way out of fights, live to fight another day options, sneaking, stealing, managing your relations with your companions, arguing with gods, becoming the terror among pirates in Deadfire. AI is extremely smart also, very smart AI. This is old school CRPG, no need to remind you that you will pause combat non-stop. I said how everything is there, but I always feel like it could be way much better than this. I don't know if the pirate setting doesn't fit CRPGs or I'm sick of Unity engine. It should be 10 out of 10 for this section, but I just can't, because it lacks something to be perfect. After all, I'll say it again, gameplay is the most important section, at least in my reviews, it's most important. 9 out of 10 for gameplay and immersion. Next section, NPCs and enemies. There are funny NPCs, boring NPCs, new NPCs from DLCs, gods. Some of those gods are really fun to talk with, main bosses, 4 different factions, and on top of all of it, more than 100 different mobs to kill. For a CRPG, it's a huge success. On your first playthrough, you'll never get bored. Everything will be new, everything will be fun. I'll say it again, this game has a very good AI, so enemies are very smart on higher difficulties. 10 out of 10 for NPCs and enemies. I had a lot of fun. Next section is leveling. Tons of options, literally tons of options. Every race, class, and subclass can be played as single class or multi-class. Every race, class, and subclass can be played as support, tank support, DPS with basic attacks, or DPS with spells, or a strange mix out of everything, and it's still gonna work. Every point you invest when you level up feels important, and it takes some time and thinking to make your builds right. Don't worry if you fuck it up though, there is always cheap respec option. I have no complaints about this section. Could it be better? Yeah, for sure. But remember one thing, it can always be worse too. Details about leveling and guides for Pillars of Eternity 2 are on my channel, so you can always check them out if you want to play something specific. 9 out of 10 for leveling section. Itemization is the next section. This game, I don't know what to think about items. There are like 5 OP armors, 5 OP weapons, and everything else in the game feels weak if you compare to those 5. But even so, you can finish the game with weaker items, even on hardest difficulty, so I guess it's fine if you look at it from that perspective. You can craft food, consumables, scrolls, traps, and you will always find use for those, unlike in majority of other CRPGs where consumables feels useless, and that's a very good thing for Pillars 2. They added some new soulbound items in the DLCs, but by the time you get those, the game will be over soon, so that's a shame you don't get to use those soulbound items for a long time, you know. 8 out of 10 for itemization. Next section is music and sound. Strong main theme, solid music all around, great shanties while sailing, well done sound effects. On my first playthrough, 10% of the game, only 10% of the game, was voice acted, so I needed to read everything and got tired fast. Too much reading exhausts you. Now, after 3 DLCs and multiple patches, everything is fully voice acted, and I mean it, absolutely everything is voice acted. And what's even better, it's close to superb voice acting. From companions to random NPCs to my favorite voice acting for gods in Eora. 10 out of 10 for music and sound. Now, conclusion. We got 10 sections with a combined score of 86, or in other words, 8.6 out of 10 for Pillars of Eternity 2 Deadfire. I really think there was a lot of space for improvement, and I also think that Pillars is becoming a franchise worth playing. It's a good successor to old school CRPGs like Baldur's Gate, and it's a good thing that complex and complicated games like this even exist, especially in 2019. I can't wait to play Pillars of Eternity 3. Good job, Obsidian. I love the game. Now, it's very good after a year of waiting. Guys, That will be it for this video, and I'll be seeing you in the next one.